In this video, we're going to talk about some of the capabilities of the SISEnet Operational Information Sharing Hub. Right now, there's 6 hotkeys here. When you press a hotkey here, you jump down to an area that gives you more information. Then you can actually access the area by clicking this button. If you're down deep in the page and you want to go back to the top, you just click that button, you go right back up to the top. Everything works off the hotkeys, but it's all on one page that links to other pages. So let's walk through this for just a minute. So first up are decks and waivers. The decks and waivers are contributed into the SISEnet Operational Information Sharing Hub by state private sector liaisons, by working group members of the consortium, by partner organizations of the consortium. These are vetted people that have been doing hurricane response for a long time. The first place they show up is in the Information Sharing Hub area, if you'll hear about it in another video. But we've also formed a partnership with Commercial Vehicle Safety Alliance to have an inventory or an archive of these things, and they take it to another level. What's wonderful about what they do is they do nationwide, every state, all decks, all waivers. They do it for a different mission, for transportation related, but working with us, we merge the emergency side of this with the operational transportation side of this. So you'll see every state will post up what they have. If there's a 0, there's nothing there. If there's a 1, there's a document or a waiver. You highlight it and you click View Selected Declarations. It gives you the effective dates of when it starts and when it stops, which we don't do, but this is fantastic. And then if you want to see the actual link to the website where it is, or you want to look at the document, there it is. Great capability, wonderful partnership. Well, why is this important? Well, because when trucks are moving across state lines, they need permission. If their truck isn't licensed for interstate travel, if you're in Michigan truck, licensed in Michigan, and now you got to go to Florida, and you're in Tennessee at a red light and somebody runs into the back of your truck, if you don't have that declaration on board, you're liable. That's just one example. So these drivers that support electric sector mutual aid or food movement or whatever, if their truck isn't licensed for interstate travel, which many of them aren't, cost more money, they need these documents or they can't move. That's why it's important to get these early, 2, 3, 4 days ahead of time, and get them out to these companies so they can give them to their drivers, so they can operate in a legal framework that protects everybody. That's why this is important, and it is the #1 requested information from industry during a hurricane or any kind of storm. This will give you information about it. You can click here and jump to that other page. Next up is live weather forecasts as well as impacts. So if you click on this, it comes down, and in weather we have 2 categories. One is certainly the gold standard is NOAA. And this takes you to the page that you can get all kinds of pre-canned reports to right to your desktop. And it's wonderful if you're a weather person. It's a tremendous website. But for those of us that aren't weather people, we have another tool we've been using since 2016 called the GeoCollaborate tool. It's really been designed for the private sector. And this merges different layers of data based on use case. So you don't have to be a weather person. You can just come here. We'll have a dashboard just for hurricanes, and we'll have one just for wildfires and just for flood. But this merges all the relevant data to tell us where the storm tracks are, what's the predicted weather. It allows us to turn layers on and off. Over here you can click these and get a weather radar report. There's the weather radar popping in. It allows you to play around with data. But we use this as a way to layer information, so it's coming from NOAA. It's operational readiness level 1, and it gets all of us on the same page, not to replace other tools. There are tools that will provide you much more granular information, but for those people that are not weather people, this is a way we can synchronize our situational awareness on weather. So that's the weather component. Next up, we have facility status. Now this is important especially for government and industry when they're moving resources around the country. They need to know when they're going into an impact zone, where's the power out and businesses are closed, and where's the areas that they're open. So this is really important. The data sources for this are telecommunications connections. If a router is on site, it goes down, the router is monitored. Pretty much if the router's down, they're out of power and they can't do business effectively. Also, there's field reporting coming from a specific company. There's field reporting coming from our trusted agents for SISEnet. and there's publicly available data from industry. So this combines all of that into one place. So this is a live national database. It'll give you an idea of what tags up here will tell you what these dots mean and everything. Then you've got your data layers. It'll tell you all the different layers that are open and what's in there. And if it's green, it's open. If it's red, it's closed. The big dots are clumps of stores and so forth. But if I double click on one of these, or single click and hit zoom to site, then I can come in and I can get a much more granular view. So yellow is the Walmart stores. And then the rest of these are just restaurants and hotels. You can see the status here is open. That's a Denny's. And when a hurricane strikes or a disaster, if it hits Florida, a lot of these would be red, but some would be green. It isn't 100% accurate, but it's 95% accurate. But at least it'll give you information for your people to find out, okay, it looks like at this place there's a BP gas station and it's open. Do they have fuel? We don't know yet, but we know it's open. So this is the open-close status. So in here are fuel, food, pharmacy, hotel, fast food, retail, big box stores. And then we have your retail chain, Walmart, and some others that publish it publicly is in here as well. Next up, we'll look at power outages. So power outages is a service, it's a data feed, it's live 24/7 nationwide. It's provided by poweroutage.us. And this gives us information on power outages. Down at the bottom, it gives us the top 5 states that are having the highest power outages. Here's your legend to tell you what that means. If I want to go into a specific state, I can get information on what utilities are having issues at all their websites. And if I want to go down to a specific county and look at what's going on there, this gives me the county level information. It's a great resource to help us determine at the local level where power is out. Why is that important? So you can do your planning to move your people to areas where the power is on, maybe near the power outages. But it's a wonderful planning tool that both industry and government use. All right, next up is our partner links. Now, why is this important? Over the last 10 plus years, the consortium and all of its trade association partners, its councils, we've been working storms together for a decade plus. And so these are different types of groups that all work together. Trade associations, government agencies, I won't read them all, but there's a ton of them. So when you click here, this is a partial list of these organizations that you can click to and learn more about, maybe not during the disaster, but during your planning time. These are all the operational coordination partners. Every hurricane, we are working with these organizations in some way, shape, or form. So this is a great start to help you network and get into partnerships that can help you down the road. So we do this as a way to build the community and connect you or your organization into a group of people that are always going to be focused on the hurricane use case. So the next one we're going to look at is live traffic. This is a service from Esri. So if you click on the button, it takes you down to the area that has the information. So this live traffic, as I said, is available from Esri. It provides us with an overall level 1 reliability, and it's fairly self-explanatory. So if you come down here and click on the link here, you'll be taken to this map. This is live information. It's nationwide, so it can take some time to load once you get it. But if we focus in on hurricane, let's say Florida, the Gulf, so forth, it gives us a lot of information that's real time. And we use this for route planning. So at the end of the day, I can sit here and zoom in, and it'll tell me a lot of information where things are flowing smoothly, where it's kind of slowed down. And then you've got, these red dots are various types of closure or disruption information. Here's a road closure based on this. And so you can use this as a planning tool that you can cover a region or a specific state, or if you want to get right down into a specific area of a city, let's say you want to look at New Orleans as a whole, you can zoom in and get this information, and it's pretty accurate based on the feedback we've got. So it has lots of operational data that you can use for planning and so forth. Here's another road closure, and you get the idea. and that's the live traffic. So in our next video, we're going to look at, this just gives you one area of updates, the most recent, but if you click on this, it takes you to another page which provides you access to all of the DEX waivers, SITREPs, updates, and so forth in a chronological order. You can see there's many of them here, and we'll cover this in another video. So those are the hotkeys that are currently available. There may be other ones. If there are, we add them and we bring them in. But that is the basic capabilities within the SISEnet operations.